What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you an NFL discussion video on Tank Dell and his upcoming road to recovery after his nasty injury versus the Chiefs today, as well as looking into the draft and some free agent targets for the Houston Texans to help rebuild their receiving room after this season. Let's get into it, guys. So, as I said in the intro, Tank Dell suffered another gruesome injury to end the season early yet again. Last year, his rookie season, after having a pretty good start. That was cut short. I believe I want to say I think 6 to 8 games somewhere in between there when he got injured and was out for the season. Then this year, super late in the season, the Texans yet again have playoff hopes, and they won't have their young receiver yet again. Another injury this time. From what internet doctors are saying, that it is a dislocated kneecap. And from what everyone is saying, even the doctors online, they're chiming in with, and they won't know his exact road to recovery, but they're saying it's going to be at least a year and a half before we see him again, possibly. So maybe the 2026 season, the start of that season. I believe his birthday is in October, so he'll be pushing 27 by the time we could maybe see him again. Hopefully the recovery comes super great next year, and I can see him towards the end of the season. But if not, we might have, and if the rumors are true, that we might can see him possibly in the 2026 season. So with that being the case, we're gonna. I know we're all sad for him. We wish him the best, especially seeing his teammates Stroud and those guys. They were tore up about it, but we don't have to look on to see possible not replacements, but as guys to add on to the roster for when he is healthy. They have some to add on to with upcoming Tank Dell in whatever year he returns to football in 2025 or 2026. So I have a list of guys via free agency as well as the draft that the Texans should target. I'll start with the draft first. I think that's probably the uh, more entertaining and more of the bigger names there. I don't think the Texans will spend a lot of money to bring these guys in, like Chris Godwin. I don't think they bring back Stephon Diggs. He did look pretty solid with the Texans, but depends on how much money he wants. Also, he's older, come off an injury as well. So same with Chris Godwin. They will fit the Texans perfectly, but you don't want to bring in another older receiver because the last 2 years now, Stroud has been going to the playoffs with only one or two good receivers that are really healthy. So if I'm Stroud, if I'm the Texans, I'm gonna look towards someone who doesn't have that much injury history. So as I'll get into NFL free agents later, but going to the draft, I do have some guys, and one of C.J. Stroud's former teammates, Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, slot receiver, very, very talented, very, very good. And he was once thought of to be probably, and I think he still is a first round lock, but he was a higher upper echelon first round guy, probably top 15. Now I think he's probably bottom, 16 to 32, mid to late first round pick, but still solid. And that's around the same range where the Texans should be drafting at, unless they trade up or something. I think they definitely should be beyond the 16 point. So that's somewhere I will look forward to bringing in. He's like a Tank Dell-ish type of player, slot guy, but he's mainly more slot. Tank can do it all, but I will say Ibuka is more of a slot guy, and having him with Nico Collins, I think that would be a pretty good duo. Plus some, like I said, I'll add on some veterans toward the free agency route when I get later on into the video. But Ibuka will probably be my first start. You have to probably jump the Steelers, probably jump a couple other teams to land them, depending on the draft order. But I think that's probably a decent option there. Next, you have Ole Miss wide receiver Trey Harris. He's kind of iffy prospect to me. I like him, but I don't really love him. Kind of a outside inside guy. He's not particularly just a slot, so that's good as well. You don't have someone that's kind of pigeonholed into just one position. He is versatile. Most guys on this list are, honestly. But Trey Harris from Ole Miss, he's a good solid option. I don't know about the first round. I do hear some first round buzz on him, but I personally would wait to the second for him personally. If the Texans want to, go a lineman route, because they need linemen badly as well. If they want to go for a lineman and then get a guy like Trey Harris in second round, then I'm all for it. But going for Trey Harris in the first, It's a little too rich for my blood, honestly. Next up, you have receiver from Miami. Very good slot guy. Very good hands, and that's Xavier Respro. I believe I'm saying his name right. Very solid wide receiver. Um, he reminds me, and I hate to say this, but the cliche white guy slot, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. He gives you that same vibe. So uh, that's all he is to it. Plain and simple. That's what he is. So I hate to say it like that, but white guy slot, he gives you that same vibe, and that's a good. That's someone good to have. You would need a safety blanket to have with C.J. Stroud because for some reason it seems like Dalton Schultz, their tight end, he got less athletic over the summer. I don't know what happened to him, but he doesn't seem all the way. I'm not sure healthy or just doesn't seem as athletic as he used to be. He had a pretty good day versus the Chiefs today. They usually give up a lot of yards to tight ends, so he had a good day, but he doesn't look as spry as athletic. So another safety blanket add on to that. I think Respro, if I'm saying his name correctly, the receiver from Miami, he makes a lot of sense there. If you want to wait till the maybe second, third round, maybe even fourth, you have two guys as well, and Jalen Royals and Jaden Higgins. Those two guys round out my rookies. I would love for them to really add on to. No one, I'm not going to go into the fourth, fifth, sixth round guys, but I could. Ty Felton from Maryland, I like him a lot as well. He probably more as a fifth, sixth round guy. But as far as the upper echelon, higher ranked guys, round one through three, maybe round one through four, I'm gonna give you those guys. So Trey Harris, a Booker from Ohio State, Xavier Respro, Jalen Royals, and Jaden Higgins are those are kind of my guys for the Texans to really target to, like I said, not replace Tank Dell, but to really just add on to the roster so when he gets back, they'll have a more complete roster around CJ Stroud, around Tank and Nico Collins. Now, going to the free agency route, to the veterans, as I said, no Chris Godwin for me personally. He was hurt early enough to where they could bring him back and him might be healthy. But if I'm the Stroud and the Texans, I want someone who doesn't have that bad bill of health. Stephon Diggs, Godwin, kind of out. Amari Cooper is interesting. I think he's on a decline though personally, but Cooper could be interesting for the right price. But I'm more of a line of like a Darius Slayton from the Giants. I've been on him heavy. I think he could have a pretty good year. Just depends on where he goes to next season, and he's been on my trade market for the last year and a half. He really has been. It just hasn't been moved on from. But I think a lot of teams could use his services. The Steelers, the Rams. The list goes on. So I'm really loving Darius Slayton where he goes. Same for going off the Rams. Demarcus Robinson had a good year for the Rams so far, going to the playoffs. If they get in, he had some pretty good games. I like Demarcus Robinson going to the Texans, going with Stroud. That makes sense. Those two really more my key guys, honestly. You could throw in one of my favorites, and that's Tutu Atwell. I love me some Tutu Atwell, and I'm doing a video on this later on. But Tutu Atwell, I believe, will have a breakout year next year. Not a star, nothing like that, but I think a household name. Kind of like my Falcons wide receiver, Darnell Mooney. I think given the right system, given the right scheme, right team, Tutu Atwell could be something special, or at least a good, not special, I'll take it back, but something good for his new team because he's definitely underused with the Rams. I don't know why. I say it every game when I watch it, get me frustrated. Tutu is a deep threat. He's a problem. Just got to get the ball more often and get more playing time, get more trust from his coach. And for some reason, Sean McVay, he you have him one game, he'll give him a couple of drives. The next game, he might get one. Like it's crazy. I know he's a smaller guy, can't block, all that good stuff. But when you need a deep pass, you need something to shake in the passing game. Why not put him out there? That's my biggest thing. But whatever. I'm gonna get into that in his own video later on. Doing it after this season, during the offseason process, I think Tutu will have a pretty good season next year. Wherever it depends on where he goes though. But those are probably my main options. Darius Slayton, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu. You probably can throw in maybe bring out Robert Woods. He's getting up there though. Like I said, you might want to throw a year deal or a 2 year deal on a Chris Godwin or bring back Stephon. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but as I said, it's tough. It's tough. T. Higgins, no, he's probably out their price range. They're probably not gonna go crazy with trying to get Higgins. So I think they should really focus on offensive line and focus on adding some wide receivers. Probably one in the first or second, and then another one in the fourth or the fifth. As I said, like a Ty Felton in the fifth. Something like that could round out your receiver room. He's going to be, I believe Felton could be pretty solid in the NFL. And you don't need stars. You have Hutchinson, you have what's the kid name they got? John Mechie's still there, but he's not healthy right now either. He dealt with his illness the first couple years. Then this year, okay year, not really a breakout like how I thought. So, you still have some guys who need to show improve as well. So Hutchinson, Mechie is there still. Pairing with Nico Collins, so I think you add on two more guys. Then, like I said, if Tank Dell doesn't return next year and returns in 2026, then we'll see where Hutchinson and Mechie and those rookies are at, paired with Nico Collins, and then you'll see how everything can shake out then. Need to make some trades, need to make some things happen, free agency, whatever. But overall, though, as I said before, I said now, Tank Dell, hope he gets better. But, the Texans have to move on and look towards the future because, the NFL stands for not for long. And Tank Dell's super talented, super good, but if you can't stay healthy, there's not much. Even Stroud can't save you long term as far as keep missing these games and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. Hope the best for them. But if the Texans want to move on properly, this year is not a bad year. Free agency, get some guys who are pretty solid. Then in the draft, you can add one or two rookies. I think that makes sense. Someone from my list even two guys from the list wouldn't be bad either. Like I said, you want to get more guys in there. Can you count on Mechie? Can you count on Xavier Hutchinson long term? We don't know. We don't know. So they're improving still. But that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.